What is good, everybody? It's your boy Tej, and today I'm be showing y'all how to make a Detroit beat for 42 DUGG, EST or Sada Baby. I'm gonna be going with that bass piano pattern with that signature Detroit bass. I made the beat from scratch, so I'll be breaking down everything from the melodies to the drums. I'll play the full beat at the end of the video, so be sure to stick around for that. And with everything out of the way, let's just hop right into the beat. Alright, so for the tempo for these type of beats, if you're doing it in normal time, I'd say aim somewhere between 85 and 100 BPM, and double time probably somewhere in the 170 to 200 range. I opted to go with 188, so in normal time that would be 94 BPM. I think typically the high 170, 180 range is probably going to work the best with these type of beats, especially just because you want to have those faster piano melodies. First thing I opened was an addictive keys, and I've laid out this really simple piano pattern. It's just the same thing copied and pasted for the full 8 measures, and then I hit Alt-R and adjusted this velocities knob right here, and I changed the velocities up a little bit, but other than that, the notes are pretty simple. I took that sound and I threw it into a mixer, and I put an EQ on it just to cut out the key noises. Then I put another EQ just to cut out some of the harshness and a little bit of the high end. I opened up RC20, got this Vinyl 3 preset. I turned the noise and wobble down and turned the space up. And then lastly, I added this reverb. It's just a normal reverb. I added some more wet, turned the dry down a little bit, and everything else I pretty much kept the same. In the mixer rack, I panned it a little bit to the left, so that way the piano sound is more centralized, since this is the base of our melody. Next, I opened up a key zone and I laid out this top melody pattern right here along with some bass notes. So since we are in the key of D sharp minor, my bass notes are going from the root note of D sharp, and then I move it down to the 6 in the scale, which is B, and then I move it down to the 5, which is A sharp. My added notes are just super high on the keyboard. I reduced the velocities on these high notes right here just because I didn't want them to stand out too much and conflict too much with my other piano melody. And then these bass notes, I kept them at a pretty standard tempo. The top ones are a little louder than the lower ones. So in context, we got something that sounds like this. Then I just threw that into the mixer and had a similar reverb that I had on my other piano sound. Then I put a high pass EQ and I pulled it to about like 150 hertz. That way it doesn't conflict with the other bass sounds in the 808 that we're gonna add later. The next melody I added, I used this legato tremolo preset in the string section of X-Band, and I laid out this pretty simple strings melody. And as you may notice, this loosely follows the bass note pattern from the piano that I mentioned, from the piano in the previous pattern. Then I threw that into a mixer, threw some RC20 on it, left it on the Vinyl 1 preset, and I think I kept everything the same. I just turned the noise off and I turned the space on a little bit just to put it a little more in the background. And our last melody sound comes from SAR. It is the Just Add Distortion bass, and this is used in tons of Detroit beats and a whole lot of like Detroit and West Coast music. It's just that signature Detroit bass, and I just laid out this bass pattern with it. So since I only have the demo version of SAR, what I did to render out the bass pattern was I went to the master and I opened up an Edison and I muted all the other sounds. I took this drop down box and put it onto on play and then hit the record button and played it from the arrangement. After I had the whole pattern recorded, I went to this icon right here and just dragged it into the playlist, and then you can just move on with the rest of your beat. So that's pretty much all I had for the melodies. Now I'm gonna hop into the drums. First thing I added was this clap from my upcoming drum kit. Next, I added this hi-hat pattern. I threw in a MIDI and I kind of just messed around with some of the notes and some of the velocities and stuff, and this is the pattern that I came up with. And then after that, I added this zap perk. And then I added an open hat and I threw an envelope on it. You can do this by turning everything down all the way and turning the sustain all the way up or the hold all the way up. Doesn't matter, either one works. And I put in this open hat pattern. And then I put in this pretty basic snare pattern. And then I added a rim sound. Then I added a short, harder hitting 808 that is also from my upcoming drum kit. And I turned the out up to about 50%. I did that so the 808 has like a shorter, stubbier feel to it. And you can turn the out knob on some harder hitting 808s that you have. That way they don't bleed out super long and it gives you that Detroit type of vibe. And then I put in the first of 2 808 patterns. And my second 808 pattern sounds something like this. And then lastly, I added a kick just to add some more punch to that 808. Alright, so that's pretty much all I got. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you liked it. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. Be sure to follow my Instagram. Link will be in the description or at beatsbytej. And that's pretty much all I got. Hope y'all have a great rest of your day. Peace.